You are watching Vanquish Gaming League Season 2 of our 2v2 action. My name is Spectre. I'm here to cast what's going to be our Week 3 action here between two teams very hot off the press here. We've got Team SeanPaul versus Team Haterade. Now, Team Haterade over here is comprised of Diener and Ari, and both of them Vanquish Gaming veterans, however coming off of a long stint of inactivity. A little bit of a rough start, but pulling together very strong in Week 2. Week 3 they are up against a very tough matchup with Team SeanPaul, undefeated so far, and very highly favored to make it all the way to the championship. This could potentially be an underdog victory type of situation here. We see a little bit of love going out back and forth. Definitely some good sportsmanship there, but this is going to be a big match for both of these teams. Basically, Team Haterade are looking to make sure that Week 2 is not a fluke and that they can indeed pull through this and compete at the highest levels. Team SeanPaul, they want to continue the momentum that they've built up here. You know, so far they have been undefeated, and with the exception of dropping, I believe, just one game, they've pretty much gone through almost effortlessly. They had a little bit of a stint last week. They lost one game, got caught off guard a little bit, but for the most part, they have been pretty strong, pretty consistent. So they definitely have the capability of taking this all the way, but we'll have to see if this game is a stumbling block for them, or if it sends Diener and Ari back to the drawing board. So let's take a look, see a little bit of scouting here from Team SeanPaul. Poyo, of course, taking the reins of that. He will find a pylon and gateway under construction. On the Zerg side, he will see that Ari has opted for the fast expand, no pool just yet. Oh, pool just dropping down as soon as I said that. And he does have this expansion down as well. Meanwhile, Poyo has opted for a gas and a pool early, and it looks like he will be one basing for the time being. He does have this Overlord already positioned over here, so he could potentially be looking to expand anyway. We do see a wall coming up here for Sloan. He has been a great sidekick here in this matchup, and that's not to take anything away from Sloan. He definitely has a very aggressive playstyle, but he has done a great job with the Doom drops and just being exactly where he needs to be at all times. Sometimes the patience is not his greatest strong suit, and we have seen have that work against them a little bit. For the most part, Team SeanPaul has been extremely effective, and they are really one of the teams to beat right now. We see this expansion starting to come down. No expansion yet for Poyo. Looks like he is opting to just one base this for right now. Take a look at that income tab. We'll see that Poyo falling behind just a tad to Diener. Everyone else is pretty stagnant there. Looks like a pretty steady flow of resources that these bases. Oh, looks like an expansion finally going down for Poyo. Obviously very late. The expansion for Ari has already popped here. So as soon as he gets this saturating, that will start to give Team Haterade a bit of an economic advantage. Do you see two Zealots stacking at the top of the ramp? No wall off, by the way. Diener opting not to wall off at all. It's a little more expensive to do, but he does have these two gateways here. He could have very easily positioned these in here to wedge. Anytime you're against a Zerg player, you want to make it as difficult as possible for them to just kind of run in to your mineral line there, especially with blings or anything else. We do see some Xel'Nagas going under the control here of Ari and Diener, so Team Haterade will be taking a look there. A little bit of an ouch there, as I'm assuming Ari went ahead and lost his scout. And we do see now a rollout of these lings with these ridiculous wings. Look at it, they're just like they're tripping over themselves as they run around. And this ling, unfortunately, will be met with a zealot, but they should be able to take it. Oh, no, looks like he only sent one ling to this side as well, so they do not take the Xel'Naga towers. Meanwhile, a handful of lings. Go ahead and take a look at that unit tab. We'll see here that Ari really just has the two lings. 6 zealots for Diener, and we see 5 marines starting to build up for Sloan as he starts to get his marine ball rolling. And we do see now 18 zerglings out for Poyo. That definitely gives the unit advantage in favor of, I'd say, in favor of Team SeanPaul. Do see now factory coming down. Let's take a look at that production tab. See stim packs underway as well for Sloan, and looks like a very steady early attack underway being built up here for Team SeanPaul. So what's going to happen on this side? Well, it looks like Ari's got himself covered with this spine crawler. It's going to do wonders for him when all those lings swarm him. And these zealots have now been backed up by a stalker. So So we do see a little bit of a build-up. Poyo taking this kind of easy, not really going in for any strong attacks. He's pretty much just kind of running around, you know, I guess keeping an eye on things, making sure no proxy pylons are trying to sneak up on him. We have not seen really too much action just yet. We do see some slowlings coming out here, just kind of building up here at the bottom of this ramp. And yes, we do have metabolic boost underway for Ari, so he will. We'd also see some Evo chambers coming down too. So this pack of rovinglings here getting awfully close to the base. Looks like they will try to poke just a little bit to see what's going on, and they should easily be able to take out that pack of lings and cause some damage if they wanted to. Just need to avoid these zealots up here, and it looks like they will take those out. And a small string pulling back there, trying to gravitate him in. And it looks like that lack of wall will come back to bite Diener in the ass, as he now has a ton of lings rolling in here, has pulled his workers out of the line. We do see them going for the easier target here. They're going to try to take down this queen, not getting a very good surround here. Might be able to brute force this. Looks like they're distracted by those pretty larvae. And finally, we see them going after that queen. Will they get it? No, they will not get it. And the queen stays alive, just barely 16 hit points. Queen's just barely holding on. We do also have now a mothership core out here. Ultra annoyance for any Zerg early game. Just do not have really anything to attack the air. So those mothership cores can be quite a pain for offense. We do see now some medevacs coming out here for Sloan, as the famous Sloan Doom drop underway. Looks like 2 more Marines coming in there, and here we go. Meanwhile, we do see Poyo picking off this last of these zealots. I almost forgot his name, and he will go ahead and regain control of these Zelnaga towers, taking it away. And we do see a little bit of a rollout here from Diener. Going to try to expand off to the side. Looks like just terrible timing on his part. He has detected Sloan's drop. Sloan, of course, with an option to push this away. It looks like he will not do that. Instead, he will use this boost. Come over here. We do have some cannons in place here. He needs to get these units dropped in time, and it looks like he did just in time. Those medevacs will stay alive, and he is going ahead and using this vantage point here, kind of being wedged in between these minerals here, forcing these zealots to stack up. Unfortunately, with those cannons, just making it really difficult for them to cause any damage at all. It was pretty much a very nasty trade-off, and not much to gain from that. Sloan will send back his 2 medevacs very empty-handed, not really getting what he wanted from that attack. We do see a Baneling nest up front, just kind of being advertised. Might as well just put a sign out that says, yes, I'm going to Baneling bust you, because that's pretty much what he's doing by putting this Baneling nest just so up. I mean, was there no space back here? I mean, there is some space. You could have tried to hide it, but that's just how Poyo rolls. You know, he's not even worried about somebody rolling in up on space. His front lawn is secure, so he's going to go ahead and build stuff up in the front, and he's not going to worry about it. So that's pretty ballsy, but we expect that from Poyo. He is, you know, his nickname in the Mumble channel is the 3rd testicle, because that's how ballsy he is. It's literally like he has 3 of them. He has 1 to spare. So we do see these rocks going down now as he will attempt to expand to this gold. Really no pressure from Team Haterade. Team Haterade just kind of hanging back, playing the macro game right now. And if we take a look at that income tab, you'll see that it's pretty even here. We just look at this bounce back Poyo did from that late natural expansion. He has really bounced back 55 harvesters. He just has he's just pumping minerals out. And you see a lot of motion here now from all these lings. They're going to go ahead and take these Zelnaga towers again. So visibility swaying back in favor of Team Haterade. And if we take a look at that unit tab, we'll see that Diener kind of a little slow here. He really hasn't built anything in a while now. Just kind of going for that, you know, early units to help defend, and then it's pretty much just sat down and built nothing else. We do see a few upgrades, but not really much else on the production side. Looks like all of this work is going right now into expanding into this side base here. So as we sit and watch this unit build up, we see greatly in favor of Team SeanPaul here. And we do see this roving pack of lings almost stumbled onto Sloan's planetary fortress here. Unfortunately, they would not have been pleased with that discovery. We do also now see a big group of zealots here rolling in just north of the gold. They will attempt to roll in. Unfortunately, these banelings and lings are going to completely eviscerate that group there. Those banelings fairly effective against the zealots. And we do see the rest of this army kind of rolling up, and Fester's now on the field. This is starting to sway drastically in favor of Team SeanPaul. The expansions, the macro, just unsurpassed right now. There's really no answer from Team Haterade. We do see quite a few. This might be an overly ridiculous amount of blings, as Ari plans to drop the magic juice all over somebody. Meanwhile, Sloan jetting his way across the skyscape, going for a doom drop on this freshly designed base. He will find much less resistance here. It looks like he will still drop just outside of the border, playing it extra safe. Meanwhile, these lings and blings rolling in, not really sure where they are going. It looks like they're just going to kind of mass up here. And Sloan, of course, taking out that expansion very easily. Meanwhile, these lings attacking this gold here right in the middle of a drone transfer. And oh, Poyo's infamous micro not going to save him that time, as not only does he lose the workers, but loses the infestors as well. That is, wow, we do not expect that at all from Poyo. That is definitely not his typical play. He really got caught with the pants down. He may have lost that third testicle in that battle. Ari may have just taken that back and said, listen, sorry, only 2 testicles for you from now on. So pretty amazing chain of events there. Was not expecting that. I mean, they did lose a base up here, but it was not fully saturated. It was just basically the 300 minerals. Meanwhile, this gold almost went completely down, just barely holding on to this hatchery. And meanwhile, we do see some lings piling up here in the center, most likely going to convert back into banelings. And still quite a significant army here. Poyo taking quite a hit, but a significant army from Sloan present. However, if Ari does go for banelings with these lings, he should be able to level this playing field fairly quickly. And meanwhile, we do see a Stalker Zealot ball building up here with a few Archons to boot. And that's going to definitely give a little bit of advantage here to Team Haterade. They just need to play this right. If they can continue to put pressure on this, take out this this gold expansion, and then roll down here, they can keep Poyo to 1 base, which is fairly low mined at this point. You know, not really too many minerals left. Also, could bling this as well. There's definitely a lot of potential here for them. They just need to get themselves coordinated. And right now, it still looks like they're a little spread out, a little all over the place. You do see some corruptors on the field as well. And it looks like, no, they will not take that momentum that they gained from harassing that gold. Instead, they're going to try to get a gold of their own. And we do see a little bit of an attack here, but unfortunately not going to stop that gold. And we do now see some Ultralists out. This is definitely getting a little scary on the tech. We do see another expansion coming down for Diener. Kind of a controversial move here. We do see finally some bling attack on this planetary fortress, and they will take it out. So finally taking this, you know, I am a little concerned though with the expansion here from Diener. He has this enormous army, just kind of, well, not enormous, but a fairly sizable army here. He could very easily be helping out you know, his partner. Instead, Ari being tasked with all the harassment, and these lings are not going to really be enough to take out a planetary fortress and this army. This army is getting very scary from Sloan. He's really building it up here. And meanwhile, we see Poyo now rolling in with these Ultralists. He's going to go ahead and take out these 2 expansions. They have not really gotten started. This gets cancelled by Diener. But it looks like Ari will frustratingly lose this hatch yet again. And no, finally Diener joining the party, sending in these troops. We see the storms going down, and they will take out this army here. No, it looks like they will not take out the army. It looks like they have been able to push it back. These Ultralists putting up quite a fight here. Definitely thought those DTs were going to make it a done deal, but it looks like they were not able to get enough DPS out. And we do see some additional lings coming in here. A scan going down to kind of help out, and finally the last DTs going down. A few more in reserve back here as what's left of Diener's army pulls back to guard this expansion. Meanwhile, this enormous ball from Sloan is now going to roll in on this base. And this is exactly what they want. They wanted to pull them from both sides. They're attacking from both extremes. You know, Team Haterade unfortunately not capitalizing on that momentum that they had when they harassed that gold. You know, it could have gone either way, but I still feel an attack would have been better placed. A well-placed storm there from Diener, taking out quite a few Marines. And the second one not as well placed. We do see some Broodlords on the field. They're going to chase away this army, leaving the damage minimal to just this 1 base. However, there is quite a pack of lings and Ultralists rolling around. Those Ultralists, of course, still a little damaged. This Broodlord just kind of picking away at them. Meanwhile, the rest of this army being taken out as well. So these Broodlords highly vulnerable. They do not really have much to guard them against anything, and unfortunately this one Broodlord's going to have quite a long time trying to take out all these Ultralisks. These Ultralisks will take down this base. Meanwhile, Diener is still trying to build this expansion here, but the economy is starting to take a hit. Take a look here. You see Sloan, his one base is starting to slow down. We do see him finally starting to expand, but meanwhile, Diener has basically lost all of his income. He did manage to save all these workers, though. And these Ultralisks, of course, pulling back. They've taken quite a beating. They've definitely done their job, but he's going to most likely pull them back to be healed. Look at all this army here. Look at all these Ultralisks just waiting to attack. We see Double Hatch coming down now on his 4th expansion. Only 2 mineable bases. This will definitely be a very welcome 3rd mineable base. Do see these 5 Broodlords just kind of hanging out. Very dangerous for them to be out in the open field without any kind of air support. Marines could very easily take that out. Vikings, you know, even some Corruptors. I do believe Poyo also has a Spire up. Yes, he does. So we could very easily take those out as well. They've been grouped with these Zealots, but again, nothing to attack the air. So still a big vulnerability there for those Broodlords. And even though this game is still in the mix, it's definitely swayed in favor of Team SeanPaul. SeanPaul, of course, capitalizing on that dual-pronged attack, taking out expansions. Ari not to be deterred, rebuilding the gold. And so you see a little bit of movement here, but this pack has gradually gotten smaller and smaller. Ari attacking primarily with Lings and Blings for most of the game. And those Ultralisks, of course, very happy to make their introduction to those Lings. And they will pull back. This is right now looking very, very timid here. These DTs and Broodlords are going to be key to trying to take out this Ultralisk army. Unfortunately, these Corruptors are going to make that very difficult for the Broodlords. They will not be able to help with the DTs, but these Broodlords, oh, and this is exactly what I've been fearing the whole game, is that they have been caught without any kind of air support whatsoever, a single Archon, but it's not going to be enough, and they're going to very easily focus fire down all of these Broodlords. Meanwhile, the Pack-a-Lings in the south completely taken out as well, and now the units are just favoring highly Team SeanPaul as they just continue to build up with the very large army. Expansions everywhere, and basically have kept Team Haterade on the defense for the second half of this game. So it's going to be very difficult for them to make a comeback at this point. Do see an army continuing to build up here in the center, but at this point it's like watching a cat play with a mouse. It's just, you know, it looks like all fun and games, but at any moment they're just going to sink their teeth in and end this game. And as they continue to build up more and more here, we do see this expansion has been rebuilt as well by Sloan. So you know, I'm sorry, this is the one that was taken out before with the Planetary Fortress. So you know, this is just really looking like at some point it's just going to be inevitable. Now, if they continue to sit back, Team SeanPaul, they do give a potential tech switch for Diener. Diener has surprised in the past with a mass carrier rush, so that is definitely something that could happen again. We do see some Lings rolling in here, just trying to test the waters, and they will find it very warm, as really no resistance at all. Very easily just going to come in here, force an evac from Diener, and take out this expansion. We do see 2 Zealots futilely trying to fight off those Lings, but just not going to be enough. And Diener almost haphazardly just letting the base go. You know, he just does not want to get caught sending units over there and getting flanked again, which would most likely is what would have happened. Meanwhile, quite a large amount of Ultralisks here. Maybe to the point where logistically they may have trouble moving through the map. I mean, 13 Ultralisks is quite a bit of Ultralisks. 6 Banelings hiding amongst them. And we do see now Diener and Ari doing a rollout here, and this is going to get a little interesting depending on how these Ultralisks attack and if they get any backup whatsoever. And it looks like, yeah, they will get these DTs in here. Unfortunately, those, yeah, just way too much for Diener and Ari to deal with. Team Haterade just getting completely owned here as these Marines walk in to provide the range support, and just watch that army completely evaporate. And there's the GG, and finally a resignation here from Team Haterade. First game going to Team SeanPaul. You know, a little slow and steady game. You know, definitely some momentum early for Team Haterade. I felt like that first attack on the goal they could have definitely capitalized on better, but they did not. They pulled back. They tried to expand more. Not really one of their strengths so far that we've seen in this season. The slow and patient game, though, from SeanPaul, they've been very slow and patient for most of their games. Definitely a little bit of a change of pace for them, especially for Poyo being very much a fast-paced player. But it's been paying off, and they've been really pulling it together. So a strong game from them. Game 2, of course, elimination threat for Haterade. Both teams coming off of some hot streaks, so we'll have to see if Team Haterade can pull it together and force a Game 3. Game 2 is coming right up.